Okay, so let's talk about Monster Beverage. They just had a quarter that was, well, absolutely explosive. Seriously, they didn't just meet expectations for the end of 2025, they completely blew them out of the water, posting these record-breaking numbers that really sent a jolt through the market. So, what in the world is fueling this incredible growth? Let's break it down. The last part of 2025 was a truly massive period for the energy drink giant. I mean, the numbers we're about to look at, they tell a story of a company that just found a powerful new gear and is accelerating its business in a huge, huge way. All right, let's just get right to the headline number because it is staggering. $2.13 billion in net sales. Now, to put that in perspective, this is the very first time in the company's history they've ever crossed that $2 billion line in a fourth quarter. It's a massive milestone. And that $2 billion figure, it represents a huge jump. We're talking 17.6% growth compared to the same time last year. You know, in today's market, getting that kind of double-digit growth for a company this big is seriously impressive. So what exactly made this quarter so record-breaking? Well, as you're about to see, that impressive top-line sales number, that's really just the beginning of the story. Now, check this out. What's really fascinating here is how that growth just cascades down the line. It wasn't just about sales. Operating income shot up over 42%, and net income per share, a massive 64.9% increase. This tells us the company isn't just selling more stuff, it's getting way more profitable while doing it. So you have to ask, where is all this growth actually coming from? Well, while the US is still their home turf, the real story, the real answer, lies in Monster's incredibly powerful global growth engine. As this chart makes really clear, international sales now make up about 42% of Monster's total. Just a year ago, that number was 39%. So the international market is not some small piece of the pie anymore. It's getting close to being half the entire business. And man, is it growing fast. And this slide shows you just how fast. I mean, just look at these numbers. Sales in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, what they call EMEA, were up over 32%. But the really eye-popping figures are coming out of Asia. China grew by almost 79%, and India was up over 54%. This is hypergrowth, but on a global scale. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here it is, straight from the CEO, Hilton Schlosberg. He pointed out that sales outside the US jumped almost 27%. The takeaway here is pretty clear. Their international strategy isn't just working, it's accelerating and has become the main reason for these record results. But you know, this kind of growth doesn't just happen by accident, right? It takes a smart playbook that's firing on all cylinders. So let's look at a huge part of that playbook. Monster's killer approach to marketing and innovation. Monster has absolutely mastered the art of being part of the culture. They're not just slapping their logo on things, they're embedding themselves in these high-energy lifestyles. You know, from the pure adrenaline of the McLaren Formula One team to the massive, massive global reach of the Call of Duty franchise, where they literally distributed 650 million branded cans. And here's where they're so brilliant. They connect that marketing directly to sales. Take the Lando Norris Zero Sugar can, named after the super popular F1 driver. It was a complete smash hit across Europe and a bunch of other markets, and now it's set for a full US launch. It is the perfect example of how to turn a sponsorship win into a real product win. But of course, no business story is all sunshine and rainbows. To get the full picture, we have to look at the other side of the coin, the potential headwinds that Monster is facing. Which brings us to the big question. Can this unbelievable momentum actually last? Because while the headline numbers are fantastic, if you look under the hood, you start to see a few areas of concern that, frankly, the company itself has pointed out. So here's the first big challenge. It's like a tale of two companies. While their core Monster energy drinks business is absolutely booming, up almost 19%, their venture into alcohol brands is, well, it's struggling. Sales there are down nearly 17%, and that's a real drag on their otherwise stellar performance. The other major headwind is something they can't control, the cost of aluminum. Think about it. Every single can of Monster costs just a little bit more to make right now. And management has been really clear that they expect these costs to keep rising, which could start to squeeze those incredible profit margins we saw earlier. So, with these challenges in mind, what's the plan? How is the company getting ready for the future? Let's take a look at their roadmap for 2026 and beyond. Okay, so to get ready for the future, Monster is making a huge investment in its own plumbing. They've kicked off this major digital transformation project to modernize their entire enterprise, and it's all centered on upgrading to SAP's latest system. Now, this is a multi-year project, but it's designed to make their global operations way more efficient and ready to scale even bigger. They're also shaking up their leadership to manage all that global growth. They've put new CEOs in charge of the Americas and that huge EMEA region. They've also brought in a new chief strategy officer. This is all about putting the right people in the right places to keep the momentum going. So, in the end, we're left with this fascinating picture. We have a company posting incredible numbers, all driven by a powerful global strategy and super smart marketing. But at the same time, it's facing real challenges from rising costs and a struggling side business. So the big question for 2026 is, can this high-octane growth continue to defy gravity?